There was a specific defining moment in our lives where we knew everything was about to change.
It was 2 days before Christmas, 2020. We were sitting in our home in Charleston, South Carolina. There was no presents. There was not even a real Christmas tree. We were broke. We had maxed out everything for our company. Furthermore, we were broken. It was in that moment Jules looked at me and said, "How much do you believe in this company?" I looked at her with tears in my eyes and said, "With all of my heart."
We knew we were mostly all in when it came to cashing in our 401ks, emptying out our savings account, and maxing out a few credit cards. But we also knew there was one more large asset we had, the home that we dearly loved. This was the defining moment when I looked Stacey back in her eyes with tears and said, "I think we need to sell our house."
So let's back up, and I'm going to bring you up to speed of why we had to do this. We all know the infamous year of 2020 when the world decided to take this crazy roller coaster ride around the sun. In that year, our manufacturer went silent. We had to find and secure a new manufacturer. We could not travel. We did tons of pitches virtually to raise money. We got a ton of no's. We ran out of money. And then our manufacturer took 2,500 units of our product and hid them in a warehouse in Utah where we could not find them and we did not have access to them until we paid him.
We were broken, and completely stressed to the max. So much so that it actually put me in the hospital. But we knew that we had one more large asset, and if we sold that, we could take the equity, buy our product back, and actually keep our company alive for at least maybe even one more day. But we knew that we had to make a very hard decision. Do we give up our stuff, or do we give up our dream? In that moment, we decided that we would give up our house. But in giving up our house, what we didn't realize is, number one, how quickly it would sell, and number two, what was our plan B? Like, where are we gonna live?
So have you ever heard of the phrase, "You can't sell anything sitting on your ass"? Well, if you haven't, you have now. To us, the only affordable option was to finance an RV, wrap it in our branding, and then hit the road building our company 1 mile, 1 cell at a time. Now, I can assure you this was never on our bucket list at 50 years old, going through menopause, to downsize 95% of our stuff, move into a 250 square foot RV with one small closet. 2 women, 1 small closet. Thank God we were the same size. And then hit the road for 2 years. Never, ever. What do they say? Never say never? Yeah, right.
But the story actually doesn't start with us. The story starts with my parents on the boardwalk of Bethany Beach, Delaware, as they watched a single mom coming off of the beach, struggling with all of her stuff and trying to wrangle her 3 kids.
I want to interject here. Mom and Dad Weldon know the struggle. They were a family with 6 kids.
That's me, 4 down. But back in 1998, so in that moment, they went up to the condo, they napkin sketched out this lounger that flipped into a dolly. They got it patented, they worked on it for a while, but they just couldn't figure out how to take it to market. So they shelved it. But fast forward, many years later, I was at a point in my life where I actually even needed a change. So at 1:30 in the morning, when all good ideas happen, I called up I had the idea of what if I could resurrect my parents' idea and take it to market. A crazy thought, to be sure, but in it, a morsel of hope, even a dream. So at 8:30 that next morning, I remember it literally like it was yesterday, I called up my dad, who's one of my absolute heroes, and I said to my dad, "Dad, what would you think if I tried to take your product to market?" At the time, I was just smart enough to think I could do it, and just dumb enough to think I might be able to do something like that. But my dad, through tears, said to me, "Honey, that would be a dream come true." So he gave me the drawings and assigned the patent over to me.
So from napkin sketch concept to many, many different iterations, to spending a ton of money on prototypes, to making the hard decision to go all in. Over the past 5 years, building this company, there have been moments where Jules and I have been brought to our knees. But it has been the winds that have kept us going. We have won multiple innovation awards. We have been featured in many publications. We are now on a national speaking tour with other inventors. We even won a live TV show. We thank God every single day for these wins.
But the hard truth about our entrepreneurial journey is that oftentimes it's required us to give up more than we thought we had. To give up our stuff, but not our dreams. Back on August 1st, 2018, Stacey and I made the commitment to each other in our vows to live a life full of adventure. Sometimes you create the adventure, other times adventure finds you. But either way, we committed to living a life with no regrets and living our lives together to tell a really good story.
All right, speaking of stories, we're going to go back to the RV trip. In our 250 square foot RV with 2 women in one small closet, going through menopause. I'll add that in again. So here's a fun fact. Jules and I had never even ridden in an RV, much less knew how to drive one. And you also how big it was. But we did take 8 hours of driving lessons, which we passed, but we were still on our merry way with a good luck and a hearty Godspeed. But let's be honest, getting into an RV, driving coast to coast and back, towing a car after only 8 hours of driving lessons can be compared to taking one college business course and starting a business. There are tons of things that we are not taught, and there are tons of things that we have just had to figure out on our own.
Yeah, like for example, the time that we were going to the Outer Banks, oh my gosh, 1-lane construction, concrete barriers on either side, a foot on each side between the RV and the concrete barrier. Stop for a second and think about that. But then you throw in torrential rains and high winds. All 3 of these things are things that would never ever make you want to drive an RV. But we drive on the bridge to the Outer Banks. Now there's nowhere to pull off, but all of a sudden, our windshield completely fogs over, so I can't see. I can't even see 2 feet in front of me. I'm panicked. Of course, she panics. She jumps up, grabs a Swiffer, because she can't reach the windshield, grabs a Swiffer with a t-shirt and starts mopping the front window as I'm driving to clear this much of a space so that I can get us over the bridge. But were we scared? Yes, absolutely. But in that moment, we could not let fear win. We had to rise up bigger than fear and solve the problem.
I will add that that was our very first trip we had gone on in the RV. That was the start of our journey. But I also have to be honest, I probably peed in my pants a little bit. I was terrified. But I'm going to one up you a little bit. How about the time we were driving 70 miles per hour down the interstate? We were driving for a couple hours. We pull off on an exit in nowhere, Arizona. Our car comes unhitched from the RV. The only thing holding our car on are the safety chains. Then our car, her name is Pearline decided she just would ram into the back of the RV twice, completely smashing in the front of the car. If this isn't like being an entrepreneur, I do not know what is. Everything's going great, moving along fine, and then bam, out of nowhere, something happens and you completely get derailed. As entrepreneurs, we are going to make mistakes. We are going to have challenges. And sometimes we're going to have to get downright dirty. But these moments can be the defining moments on our journey.
Welcome to the life of entrepreneurship and following your dream. It can often lead you down a 1-lane, seemingly impassable dirt road where your only option is to stop, assess the situation, and completely change directions. Some of the hardships we've experienced as we've grown our company have been things like raising funding. Now, taking a complex, innovative, transformative outdoor piece of gear to market is no easy feat. And it is not cheap. For example, just our designs alone cost $350,000. But, so for women, it's even more challenging to get funding for product companies. But then you throw in COVID, and all of a sudden, our odds just got way worse. However, despite the odds, we have built our company to where it is on the $2 million we've raised through pitches. Thank you. But there have also been incredible challenges with manufacturing, both international and domestic. There have been price increases that would make your head spin if we told it to you over a cocktail. Or please don't even get us started on the shipping wars that have happened lately. But we have come through and we have persevered.
If you would have told us 5 years ago when we started this journey that all the challenges we would have faced, I'm almost 100% sure that we would have never left our corporate jobs. We would have never left that nice big paycheck, bigger than we have now. But man, we would have missed out on so many adventures. We believe the hard things tell the best stories. And man, we have some great stories, don't we?
Oh, we do. We have so many. Over the last 2 years, we have had literally hundreds of people come up to us and say, man, I wish I could do what you guys are doing.
Really? Did we mention we have one small closet?
But we look back at them in all seriousness and we say, why can't you? What's holding you back from your dream?
Many people dream about climbing Mount Everest. I know I do. But so few people are willing to put in the hard work it takes to conquer that summit. Building this company, to us, is our Mount Everest.
It is. But climbing Mount Everest and building a business may not be your dream, and that's fine. But what is your dream? What do you think about when you're in the car by yourself, or work is extra stressful, or you're at home and the kids are all in bed? We all have dreams.
But maybe the bigger question is, what are your excuses? Let's change that. What are your reasons why you are not pursuing that dream or those dreams?
Pursuing your deepest dreams could quite possibly be one of the hardest things that you've ever done. It certainly has been for us. But we are living testaments to the fact that as you pursue that dream, your path will unfold before you. Now, it probably won't unfold as fast as you'd like. We can definitely tell you that. However, it will always unfold. Maybe you've heard of the study that was done by Bronnie Ware on the top 5 regrets of the dying. I'd like to just highlight 3 of those regrets for you. The first one is they wished they had the courage to live a life true to themselves, not a life according to what others expected. Think about that for a minute. One life, and you live it for somebody else. The second is people wished that they hadn't worked so hard. And the third, and this one gets me every time, the third is people wished they had let themselves be happier. That is a top regret of the dying, that they didn't allow themselves to be happy. But what I want you to really notice is of all those 3, and the other 2 that I didn't even talk about, not one of them talks about people wishing they had more stuff.
I am certain when my time on this earth is done, I won't say, I should have done this. I wish I would have done that. I wish I could have done that. So many times people live in the perpetual states of the shoulda, woulda, coulda. Now, we are not telling you to go to your spouse or your partner and say, hey, let's sell everything. Let's jump in a 250 square foot RV with one small closet and go and conquer our dreams driving around the United States. But we are asking you, what is holding you back from being all in?
Now, your all in is without a doubt different than our all in, and that is just fine. But whatever your all in is on your dream, find it. Life is short. And true success is never about getting more things, making more money, or even earning more respect. True success is in who you are becoming. And the way that you become is by going through the hard things on the way to your dream. Be someone who lives a good story. Be someone who, on your deathbed, doesn't have any shoulda, woulda, couldas. Be that person who determines in your mind what you're willing to give up in order to chase the dream that you can't stop thinking about. It's not going to be easy. We can assure you of that. But we can also promise you that it will be worth it to let your life tell a beautiful story. Give up your stuff, but don't ever give up your dream. Thank you.